Hey gamers, so a Nintendo Direct was just announced earlier today, which I was waiting for an official confirmation from Nintendo to make this video, unlike every other YouTuber who basically recorded it and uploaded it earlier. I wanted to wait until Nintendo themselves said they were going to be doing it, and they have confirmed a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, which might be disappointing for some of you, including myself a little bit. But I think we could still see some good stuff here. So yeah, let's just talk about my quick predictions in this video that's going to be outdated in like a day. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So like I said, the Direct was confirmed, and it's going to be happening tomorrow at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And then you can look up the other time zones later if you want. But yeah, it was rumored that there were going to be a Nintendo Direct at the end of July, and Nintendo waited to the last second. But a lot of people were expecting, a general Nintendo Direct, especially because Nintendo themselves has a lot of release dates that we need to get, such as Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, and like there's also some other games, that we could totally see, from like, I don't know, Mario's 40th anniversary. But I think because of this partner showcase, I think we're gonna be waiting for at least some of those stuff in a September Direct, which I was actually thinking this over the past few days. Like, it wouldn't really make sense to do a general Direct at the end of July and then basically a month and maybe a few days go by, or if Nintendo really wants to stretch it, a month and a half for another Direct to happen in September. I really didn't think that made sense. So partner showcase definitely makes more sense, although again we do need those release dates. But I can see Nintendo holding off on some of them, delaying them, like Kirby Air Riders. I don't think that game is coming out this year, but they could drop them in like a Nintendo Today news thing or tweet. But third parties have been wanting to announce games for the Switch 2. And I should also say, this says that it's going to be 25 minutes long, and it's going to feature Switch 1 and 2 game announcements and stuff like that. So, the Switch 1 is not going anywhere, at least anytime soon. But I think this will still focus mostly on Switch 2 from third parties, because I don't know, it's weird with third parties lately where it feels like a lot of them are not announcing their games on Switch 2 yet. Even some prominent people like Microsoft, and maybe it was because they were waiting for Nintendo to give the green light, or it was because of the dev kits not being around. But it's been like 2 months, so I think we're ready for at least some more third parties, obviously with this Direct. And what I could first see popped up here is technically a third party, but it's also like first party adjacent. That being Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This was made by Koei Tecmo, and it's not made by Nintendo themselves. And we have gotten like Nintendo related stuff within these partner showcases. Endless Ocean. I believe we got a Warriors game at some point in a partner Direct, and I know for sure we have gotten Mario and Rabbids. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, and we need a release date for that game along with the other games. But I think we'll definitely see a release date for Age of Imprisonment here. I'm gonna predict it comes out December or November time. Maybe beginning of December, late November. That's what happened with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, where it came out at the end of November. I think it came out like around my birthday, like on the 18th or something. But anyway, that's my prediction. But in terms of actual major third parties, there were some rumors that Persona 3 Reload and I think Metaphor were in talks to come over to Switch. I wouldn't be surprised if those get announced on here. I would love those games to come over, even though I already played Persona 3 Reload to completion. I love that game, 100%ed it as well, got all the achievements. Metaphor I'm still working on. I'm like, I don't know, 10 hours into that game. But I would love for more people to experience those games because, yeah, they're really great and I love them. So I could totally see that. Also, Hollow Knight Silk Song. I know it's a joke, like, oh, are we gonna see it this time? I think we are actually gonna see it this time to a substantial degree. We kind of got a shout out in the Switch 2 Direct, but it does say coming 2025. But we do know there's gonna be like a demo at Gamescom which is some sort of like event that's going to be happening in like a week or something very soon. And there's also the fact that Microsoft said that the game is going to be coming out alongside the ROG Ally Xbox branded thing. So I think it is actually coming out this year, and I think we will actually see it in this direct. I'm gonna predict that's gonna be an October game, and I don't know what date exactly, but that's what I think. And another thing I would like to see, just in a general broader sense, is some more upgrades for Switch 1 games, you know, on Switch 2. They could be free or they could be paid. Hopefully they're not, you know, that expensive. But we definitely need more of them, of course, from Nintendo as well. But since this is a partner showcase, I really do want to see some games like, I don't know, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, the original Hyrule Warriors, you know, Definitive Edition. That already plays really well on Switch 2 because it has 1080p in handheld mode. For some reason, that's already enabled on Switch 2, but maybe they could have like a 4K thing as well. When you're docking it. Some other stuff like throwing it out there. Fall Guys, that's not upgraded for Switch 2, right? I could see that being upgraded. Especially because Fortnite was upgraded when the Switch 2 came out in June 5th, which is made by the same company, you know, Epic Games. Like, I want to see that. And here's a wild thing that I'm surprised hasn't happened yet for Switch 1, but I think it might be a Switch 2 exclusive because they're lazy. That being GTA 5, I wanted to come over to Switch/Switch 2, whichever one. It could have totally run on Switch 1, but I feel like they're going to be lazy and just port it to Switch 2. And I definitely think, you know, Rockstar wants to put more stuff on the Switch 2. At the very least, they're going to probably bring over Red Dead Redemption 2. That was like another rumor that they were going to be like doing a new version of that game for the PS5 and Xbox Series. And, you know, it makes sense to tie that alongside a Switch 2 version, especially because we got Red Dead Redemption 1 came out on Switch and like PS4 like a year ago or something. So I think that makes sense to come out here as well. Like, I think Rockstar is definitely going to push, you know, more stuff on Switch 2. Even though it could have run on Switch 1, you know, but I digress. In terms of other rumors that I've heard about, which you guys know my stance on rumors probably, I hate them. But they've been turning out to be more and more right lately. A lot of these rumors. I mean, there was, again, the rumor about the Nintendo Direct from Nate the Hate specifically. And he was right. He's been right for like the past couple of like months now. So yeah, but anyway, this rumor I think is less credible for sure than some of the other rumors, but I still think it's worth bringing up that there was some sort of talk about maybe a Xeno related game, you know, and of course, again, first party, but because it's a Xeno related and not the Xenoblade, it makes me think maybe there's a possibility of Xenogears, Xenosaga ports, or Xenoblade Warriors. I think that one is less likely because, you know, Age of Imprisonment is not even out yet. We don't have a release date. But, you know, I just gotta throw it out there. I gotta mention Xeno in some way in these videos. And I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Square Enix or Bandai Namco ported or remastered those games, you know, especially after Xenoblade X Definitive Edition, which I finished the chapter 13 of that game. And it really does connect to the rest of the Xenoblade. And you could argue the Xeno series, because I'm not going to get into it, but it basically goes ham on the multiverse. You know, it talks about it and kind of explains it in more detail. And it really does leave the pathway for, you know, Xenogears and Xenosaga to connect to Xenoblade. So yeah, again, not going to talk more about that, so I don't accidentally spoil anything for you guys, but I would love to see that here. Oh, here's some things I almost forgot to mention. We need release dates for Final Fantasy VII Remake, Elden Ring, and I think there's some other like third parties that don't have release dates, so I would love to see that, you know, more of an overview on how the games look and run on Switch 2. That would be really neat. And also, Call of Duty, you know, Microsoft promised that Nintendo was going to be getting Call of Duty for the next 10 years. Although they said it was going to be on Switch 1, you know, for the 150 million users, which I don't think that's happening. So in a way, they lied about that. But like, you know, they promised to the court, you know, the court ordered them to bring it over. So I think we will see Call of Duty here, the new one, Black Ops 7 or whatever, for Switch 2 if they somehow find a way to put that on Switch 1. Great, I guess. And I think Microsoft will also play a big part in this partner showcase. Like, I wouldn't be even surprised if like Phil Spencer showed up and be like, hey, here's Halo, which was another rumor, you know, that Halo was gonna come over. Or maybe we'll see Sea of Thieves or Forza, which already have come over to PlayStation. You know, we'll see them finally brought over to Switch 2. Maybe even Hi-Fi Rush, which, you know, that was like teased within the data mines of that game where they had a Switch cert or something. Although, you know, Microsoft doesn't own that anymore because the company that made that went independent. Microsoft tried to basically delete them from existence until they were saved. So I don't know, but maybe it could still come over via another publisher. And you know, there was the recent job listing from PlayStation about going multi-platform with more games. So maybe we'll see more PlayStation stuff on Switch or Switch 2, like God of War 2018, for example. I don't know, but I think my overall main things that I want and think we will actually get is Silksong. I actually do think that's very likely. Age of Imprisonment, and those release dates for Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Remake. But I would love to see, you know, Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor come over to Switch 2. I would also really love to see Xeno, anything Xeno related, because I love Xenoblade particularly, but I want to play those other Xeno games, man. But yeah, I mean, I could probably think of more ideas on what could be in this direct, but I want to get out this video, you know, today. I'm recording it today and uploading it later today. Usually I record videos and schedule them to be uploaded like 2 or 3 days in advance. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like shuffle around some of my videos, you know, to put this one to come out today, which, you know, is gonna be outdated in like 24 hours anyway, or less than that, because, you know, my videos come out at 3. So yeah, I'm doing this for you guys. But if you guys have any other ideas for what could be announced in this partner direct, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, I know it's probably disappointing for a lot of you, even myself a little bit, to not have a general Nintendo Direct. But September is right around the corner. I think we will definitely get a Direct then, where it will be focused on a lot of first-party stuff and, of course, third parties. But, you know, I think this could still be good. The last few partner showcases have been pretty good, and I definitely have hope, at least. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, play some Xenoblade, and I'll catch you all next time for more. Peace. Bye, everyone.